What if I was to tell you that you could actually lower your risk of depression and actually sidestep depression just by upping the amount of steps that you take on a daily basis? Yes, it sounds almost too hard to believe, but these amazing psychologists have actually quantified it, and there's a certain number of steps that you can take every single day in order to lower your risk of depression. What's up, team? Welcome to another Psychology Fitness Lab episode. Today, team, we're going to be talking about something. We're gonna get nerdy today. We're gonna get really scientific, and we're gonna talk about something that I definitely have my heart for, which is depression. And we're gonna talk about how your movement patterns, like the steps, literally the steps that you take on a daily basis, can actually lower your risk of depression. It's that friggin' simple, team. And I love this, I love this, I love this. So I'm gonna get to this right now. But did you know that scientists have identified a threshold for your step count under which you can make yourself less vulnerable for anxiety and depression? Yeah, it's crazy. If you're under this step count, your levels of anxiety and depression are up. If you're over this step count, your levels of risk of anxiety and depression go down. In Kelly McGonigal's fantastic new book called The Joy of Movement, she tells us this: the average daily step count required to induce feelings of anxiety and depression and decrease satisfaction with life is 5,649. Now, the typical American takes 4,774 steps per day. And then across the globe, the average is 4,961. Now, let's repeat that because that's kind of crazy. The average daily step count required to induce feelings of anxiety and depression and decrease satisfaction with life is 5,649. Now, one, I love that precision, but it's crazy though, because the typical American falls well below that threshold at 4,774 per day, while the average human across the globe falls also below this threshold at 4,961. Now, the question becomes, how many steps are you getting in? Are you getting that 5,649? Are you getting above that in order to reduce your risk of depression and anxiety? Or are you below that like the average American is and getting less steps than that, which is increasing your anxiety, increasing your satisfaction with life, decreasing your satisfaction with life, and increasing your thoughts with depression? Now, this is pretty crazy because we have this, a lot of us are in wearing trackers and stuff like that, and actually I have the Whoop band that's coming soon to track to my next level tracking for fitness. But a lot of us are out there tracking our steps, right? And there's all ways to do it. Your Apple Watch can do it, your Android phone can do it, your Apple phone can do it, your Fitbit can do it, your Garmin GPS watch can do it. There's all different ways, and everyone's aiming for that 10,000 steps. Now, that's a really lofty goal, and I encourage you to get that goal every day. I probably average somewhere around 12 to 14,000 depending on the day, up to maybe even 20,000 if I'm super active. But team, if you're not getting above that 5,649 steps, you're just putting yourself at a higher risk for depression. You're putting yourself at a higher risk to succumb to anxiety. You're putting yourselves at a higher risk for being less satisfied in life. And all it comes down to is the steps. Holy cow, we just gotta take some steps. Now, if you're like me, I'm all about taking on these little high performance cheats, little high performance hacks and habits that I can take on in order to curb those things like anxiety and depression and life satisfaction. Like, I want those things to be low and I want my satisfaction in life to be super high. And all I have to do is take more than 5,700 steps. Holy crap, I will definitely be doing that. Even if it doesn't really work, if it's anecdotal, it's still good for me because I know movement is good for my body. It's one of our fundamentals. Eating, moving, sleeping, breathing. It's in there. So team, I want you to think about today, how many steps are you getting? And then are you satisfied with where you are in life today? Do you feel a little bit low sometimes? Is your anxiety levels high? If those things are going on, taking those steps can be one critical step for you to get to that next level in your health, your fitness, your wellness, in maybe even your health, your wealth, any relationships. Maybe I predict, because this is why they're tied together and we talk about them all the time, health, wealth, relationships. If you step it up in your health, pun intended, you're gonna have better benefits in your relationships and your wealth. There's no doubt in my mind. So team, why don't you start counting those steps? Remember, look at your Apple Watch if you have one of those, your Android phone, your Apple phone. All these can track your steps for you. If you got a Fitbit or a Garmin watch or a Whoop or whatever the hell you got, or the Oura Ring, start tracking those steps, see where you find. And let's start taking this journey seriously, team. Depression is not something to mess around. Anxiety is an ever-growing epidemic in our society today. And dissatisfaction with life, we know 86% of workers worldwide are not happy with their jobs. Oh, dissatisfaction, that's huge. And what if it's just so easy that we can do this by stepping it up, by taking one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, and getting to that level where our satisfaction in life is high, our depression is low, our anxiety is low. And it just comes from doing it one step at a time. Well, team, that's it from us today at the Psychology Fitness Lab. I hope this one landed for you. I hope you're gonna step up your game, pun intended. Team, make sure you give us a thumbs up and a subscribe so you don't miss any of the other Psychology Fitness Lab episodes we have coming up with tons of content. Be sure if you got any questions, comments, or concerns, QCCs, you hit us up in the comments and leave them there so other people can benefit from them as well. And the team, as always, if you have anything else psychology fitness related that you want to know about, be sure to DM us and let us know what topics are hot on your brain and your body and your breath that you want to know more about for psychology fitness. We're all about creating this content for you so you can train your brain, your body, and your breath as one so you can have breakthroughs in your health, your wealth, and your relationships and get to that next level and live that limitless lifestyle that you deserve.